We're seeing a second day of rebounds for Mexican stocks, closed at a 4-year low on Monday. Now, Mexico is facing a slew of uncertainties. The USMCA, which is the new NAFTA, is expected to be signed this week at the G20 in Argentina. Donald Trump's threatened to close the US border with Mexico, and there are fears the new government could unwind reforms meant to prop up the Mexican economy. Joining me now from Mexico City, the country's outgoing Economy Secretary, Ildefonso Guajardo. Good to see you, Minister. Thank you for taking time. Look, you're on the way out, or the government is on the way out, but USMCA is coming in. Is that going to be a satisfactory replacement for NAFTA for Mexico in the long term?
Definitely, Richard, because what we have to admit is that the actual NAFTA went for too long with any checkpoints. We really missed the point that in any democratic society, public policy, even if it's foreign trade agreements, have to be sustained in time. And we left it in its own to the point to risk it. This is not about one election in the US that changed the course of things. It's about a very important ratio of the US electorate growing uncomfortable with the terms of the agreement.
The issue, of course, of the relationship, let's take the border, for example, and President Trump's threats to close the border. As more migrants come up and more caravans arrive, it begs the question, A, is Mexico equipped to face this? And B, if the border is closed, what does that do for the relationship between the two countries?
I don't think that the issue comes down to closing or not closing the border. The issue comes down to what is the cause of migration. As you understand, that these times Mexico, in net, is not sending people abroad. It's basically a country that is being used as a pathway from South America and Central America to the US. And that is very relevant. And if you look at what happened in Mexico in the last 20 years, it's exactly thanks to NAFTA that Mexicans are finding jobs that are good jobs in Mexico. So the United States, Canada, and Mexico, we have to approach this issue of migration with a constructive view to try to help Central America to build different alternatives in the future. Closing the border is just to worst and make this problem even terrible in terms of opportunities in Mexico and Latin America.
Why is Mexico giving Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, its highest civilian award?
This is a decision that is being made by the Mexican government to people that has helped in order to make Mexico to connect internationally in the best way possible. And I think that Mr. Kushner had played a very important role in the process of negotiation after. I was the chief negotiator. My counterpart was Bob Lighthizer. But always good ideas in where to land solutions came from Mr. Kushner's office. And those ideas help to find common grounds that are wins for the two countries involved in this negotiation.
The common view, or the popular view, is that he's a man out of his depth, who's there because of his relationship with the president as his father-in-law. Did he, in your view, from what you saw, make real contributions in terms of the USMCA negotiations?
I think that Mr. Kushner has done real contributions in many items of the U.S.-Mexico bilateral agenda. And I do believe that that had been a positive factor. You just have to remember, Richard, if you had made one of those basically surveys that you do in your program 2 years ago and ask what were the chances for Mexico to finish up a renewed NAFTA agreement today, those chances were very slim. And we're ending up with an agreement that is very strong, that will increase competitiveness in the North American region and definitely has given certainty to the North American region. Now, in the case of Mexico, has the value added that the new administration of Mr. Manuel López Obrador join us with a negotiator as an observer, and at the end of the day, we send a signal to the world that the outgoing government and the incoming government really together are strengthening Mexico's position in the global arena.
I don't think we could have finished on a better note. Minister, thank you for your courtesies of always coming on our programme. We look forward to having you in New York. Now you're free from the realms of office, and we can talk more and really get to the bottom of matters. Thank you, Minister. We wish you well post-government.
Thank you, Richard, and I will be in New York anytime.
Oh,
thank you.
No, there's a promise to make. All right, as we continue tonight.